Hey everybody, welcome back to Domit's podcast. And today is a very special episode because we have our first guest lecturer, and it's Faisal. Welcome, Faisal. Thank you for coming
Thank
by.
you. Thank you for having me.
And of course, I have Heel, the second, the second host.
Second host by now. Yeah.
Yep. Today we're going to be talking about the RMS. And my first question would be, Faisal, what inspired you to found Sarucci specifically around revenue management? Kind of what's your also your background and kind of how did you get into this field?
Oh, would love to share. So personally, I'm a hotelier. Started my hotel career back in 2011.
Yeah.
Worked in reservations department operations and then mainly in revenue and distribution for like from small properties to large chains. So like 45 properties. I was handling portfolio of 11 properties
Hmm.
with like one of the resort having 1,300 rooms and 400, etc., etc. So I spent out of like almost 14 years career, about 9 years in revenue management,
Hmm.
and I was in between. I started doing some consulting as well for some of the short-term rental operators and hotels as well.
Hmm.
And I realized that we are still stuck in this, I think, last century,
Yeah.
where people love to work with spreadsheets and play around with their little tabs and rows and columns with different color combinations. So I thought there must be a better solution, basically
Hmm.
with the help of technology which we have in place right now, which is available to us. So we should start building solutions around it which automate that. And in fact, the first project was a pure business intelligence dashboard reporting, which I was supposed to do for a client of mine.
Yeah.
I was doing consulting. So started building a business intelligence platform, and then basically I've realized that we can add more because the current RMS space, there are some good tools and some legacy tools where you would have, let's say, for pricing intelligence and rate intelligence of your competitors, you would be using one tool. For business intelligence, probably another tool, or you'll be using your own Excel or Power BI or Tableau, and then for forecasting and price recommendation, you'll be using another tool. So
Hmm.
essentially, hotels are using, let's say, 3 to 4 different tools, right, to make one decision.
Yeah.
Recently, I wrote a post about it that you're using 4 systems to make one pricing decision. So I said, why not build a unified revenue management system, which would include the business intelligence, price recommendation, price intelligence, group displacement analysis, and AI copilot, basically AI agents, which help you do the analysis and the mundane tasks on behalf of you. So that's how basically Sarucci started with as an BI tool for some
Hmm.
client project, and then eventually it evolved into a unified revenue strategy platform, I would say. And yeah, that's a bit about me and where Sarucci is right now.
All
That's
right.
amazing. It's great to hear somebody that knows what they're talking about and kind of sees the future and kind of the availability of the current world. You know what's out there, how to get to it. And
Yeah.
another question, it would be more of so you're also a lecturer currently, right?
Yes. So recently, as well,
Hmm.
so there's another pattern or the challenge which I've seen over the years is that the revenue. So if we talk about holistically hospitality markets, it's like 700,000 hotels, 36 million rooms globally,
Hmm.
5.2 trillion industry as in hospitality in general, and then if we look at the number of, so, and it employs the 320 million approximately people
Yeah.
for hospitality jobs. However, if we look at the revenue managers in hospitality, there's an approx, based on the study from Skift and HVS and all those Duetto survey of 2024,
Yeah.
there are like approximately 150 to 250,000 revenue managers only, and there are a lot of like consultants basically, which on average they manage 4 to 6 properties. So there is a shortage of revenue managers. about in Mediterranean, in EU alone, if you talk about it, the 83% hotels are independent and boutique, and they most of them, they lack revenue managers. Even if we talk about then not just the hotels, but short-term rental market, there
Yeah.
are about 30,000 managers in EU, like property managers, and only like about 5% of them are like they are aware of revenue management. So I saw that there's a skill shortage, I would say, as well. So
Hmm.
I spoke to the CEO of the Institute of Tourism Studies in Malta. It's a prestigious and tourism school,
Yeah.
basically, where
Okay.
they help prepare people for the industry. And I basically started teaching revenue management there to prepare the revenue managers in the coming years for this market, at least to start with Malta, and then we'll see how it goes. And basically, I do record some videos, etc., on YouTube. So I have a revenue management course. So I'm passionate about it, and I want people to learn about it because it's a good career. It's a lucrative career. You can have a decent career growth there. So
Hmm.
that's why I
All
want
right.
to give back the knowledge to the market. So I started teaching at the institute.
I think that's a very honorable thing to do, right? To gain the knowledge yourself and then try to share it with the students at the institute.
Yes.
So basically, quickly to recap, basically Sarucci can help, for example, an independent hotel still stay fully booked, but then adjust the price, based on nights you've been booked, etc. Um,
Yeah,
I think
so
really,
our aim is so the reason why I built this hotel, because still as we are in 2026 and agents and automation and AI, etc. world, but still a lot of pricing decisions are as we speak happen based on gut feeling. Like there are people who would feel like, okay, I feel like today pricing for at this rate, and they would price like that. So going back to your point, so Saruchi's objective basically is not to help hotels being fully booked, but being efficiently booked, so that in case they are fully booked, they are fully booked at the
best
rate which
price.
is deserved, rather than just being fully booked, because you can just drop the rate and you can be fully booked, but
That's true.
it won't justify basically why you are running hotel, because you are running it for commercial benefits,
Yeah.
so you should be selling it efficiently.
Okay. Because we've done a bit of lead research. We're gathering leads for Domits as well.
Uh-huh.
And we've seen a lot of, say, hotel short-term rental owners who just paste their rate on the website, and that's all they do with it. So, yeah, we also recognize that that's one of the main ways to improve the short-term rental.
Yeah.
Um,
The only main
Yeah, actually,
idea was pretty
there's
much the.
a
Oh yeah, sorry.
there's a lot of education, I think, which is supposed to happen, and it has to happen at a scale to educate people that there is usually in hotels as well, and then generally it's a more of a psychological thing where people kind of are afraid that in case they will increase the rate, or in case they would like to sell at a high rate, people might not book, but people book still, right? So they need to come out of that kind of thinking. Plus, there are tools. There is data. There is enough data. Basically, you can make use of all that information which you have actually, and what market is telling you, and then you can come up with the best pricing, rather than just having this fully booked, mindset that being happy with your little thing, that okay, you are 100%, like your occupancy is 100%, which maybe if you look at the bottom line end of the day at your revenue, it's not what you were looking for, but you are just being happy that you have 100%. So that has to change. I think a lot of education has to happen. People need to come up, like especially the revenue managers or professionals, to come up and bring their knowledge to the industry and share that, so that people who doesn't know, they become kind of aware of it. And that's why I started this little series where I just like a little topic. I record a short video of like 60 seconds. I just pick a one topic and then I post videos about it, so that like start to give a bit, little bits back on a specific topic about pricing, availability, length of stay controls, etc., etc.
okay. I think it sounds amazing. I think just the knowledge is maybe the most valuable. because
absolutely.
like you said, maybe the host will be happy with the amount of money they get from a fully booked week or a fully booked month, and they don't
Yeah,
understand that it could be optimized using a revenue manager.
correct.
All right. I think that's really good. I think we can move on to the next question. Um, we have, as both the founder and a lecturer in revenue management, what's the biggest gap you see between theory and real world RMS application?
Yeah, because on paper and in real life, as we know, it kind of differs from time to time. So, what do you think within?
Yeah, so that's one of the reason I started teaching as well, because even I personally, I did my MBA in management and finance, and I studied hotel management
Okay.
and revenue management, etc. But usually the theory or the books you have, this is a text written maybe, I don't know, some last century or
Yeah.
like decades ago, right?
Yeah.
The world has changed, especially demographically, geographic situations, what is happening around the world, like inflation, and then especially now, as we are moving from the attention economy into intent economy, things are changing very rapidly. So, the information or the practices have evolved as well. But the text, the textbook revenue management, or generally anything which is taught at the institutes, are still like they are lacking behind. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to start teaching, so that I can teach students what is happening in the real world, rather than just like delivering my lecture and just
Yeah.
moving on. The difference is basically in the mindset, because RMS, revenue management as a whole, as in practice or profession, is evolving and evolving, like all the time evolving and evolving really fast, right? So if you try to stick with your traditional revenue management definition of, okay, the core would be still the same, but you cannot just rely solely on it, because world has changed, so you need to adopt. So in theory, it's an old fascinating world of maybe 2000s or 1990s, when the revenue management practice kind of started in airlines and then came to hotels.
Yeah.
But real world, it's really different. And I think what industry needs, it like especially at universities or institutes where people are teaching, they need to work with some kind of simulations or real world, like case studies and the systems, so they can show to the students that what the systems and the data and analysis and everything looks like in the real world, in terms of situations. And also because you cannot just rely solely on the definitions of revenue management, etc., but you need to look at the macro level, what is happening around the world right now, for example, and how it will impact the tourism in the long run, etc., etc. So that has to come, and also the teachers, maybe who are teaching for a couple of years, they need to maybe upskill their game as well, because now we live in a very, very fast paced world, where the things have evolved, and probably the teachers who are teaching, maybe they are not moving at the same pace as they should.
Okay, so
Yeah.
basically to recap, basically the information changes. We live, like you said, in an aggressive, fast-paced world. So would you say it's really hard for something as technological and as advanced as an RMS? Do you think it's really hard to stay on the level, to especially as a lecturer, to constantly increase your knowledge to properly give relevant information to your students?
Yes, to some extent it was, but now thanks to AI and the tech we have, before, let's say, if you were to read a book, or some case studies from Skift and everyone else, it would take you hours, and then you try to connect the dots and try to make sense of it. But now you have tools like Notebook LLM. You can just drop your like 400 pages book into Notebook LLM, listen to it as a podcast, or as an audio. Try to get the bullet points, like to understand what is happening, and then you can basically connect it with your curriculum or what you are teaching as well, to connect with real world case scenarios as well. So before, if we were talking maybe at 2023 and before, It would have been difficult because it is really time consuming, and then you have a lot of data, but then you become like you are buried in a data, and then you are trying to connect the dots and make sense of it, and then you kind of try to create a very high level 360 degrees summary, which then you have to make sure that it's easy to consume content which you are going to teach to your students, right? So it was really difficult, I would say, but now with the AI and LLMs, etc., you can just really simplify it. It's easy to digest data in a more consumable way, which is then easy to interpret or for students as well. Because maybe as a revenue manager working for 14 years, maybe it's something normal, but then a poor student which has just started their semester, like they need to understand from a very basic level. So you need to make it consumable or easy to interpret or understand for them. So it was a bit difficult, but now I think it has changed. Although things are moving at a really fast pace, but with the technology you have available, you can also move really fast.
Yeah, so basically it transitioned from basically only understanding to understanding how you can quickly gain knowledge using the right tooling, etc. I think that's very important to get knowledge about as well. What tooling exists, because it's so aggressive now with new stuff which is coming out.
Pretty much every day.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up, and generally speaking, for anyone working in any profession, I would say the real kind of mode or for you to keep up with the job would be your ability to adapt or to upskill yourself at a very fast pace, because if you don't, then you are kind of left behind, right? Because like as a lot of people say that AI won't take your job, but people who are using AI would take. So everyone has to, I think, upskill their game and use the technology wisely. Tech is available; it's free. It's revolutionary. You don't have to pay, like even before, like in case you had to go to a lawyer, you would book an appointment. You pay maybe $500 or euros an hour, right? But to get some piece of information, and now that's on your fingertips for free, right? And essentially, in a longer run, the cost of intelligence is going to kind of zero in coming years. So
maybe just a ChatGPT Pro license, right? But I think all knowledge is findable online for free usually.
Yeah.
Correct. That's
well, speaking of new technology and AI, what do you think? How does AI play its role in the RMS? How is it transforming the traditional kind of RMS right now? And like, which role does it play?
Yeah. So basically, RMS as a whole, if I want to talk about just the classic RMSs, right? If you look at now we'll be moving from revenue management system to revenue strategy systems, right? So it will be like where you can have a lot of data, and then for example, you become, as a revenue manager, as we speak now, revenue managers are basically in current world, they are acting like an API between TMS and RMS and price intelligence tool and BI and all, right? And collecting a lot of data and then trying to make sense of it. Now AI, what it does, it just like simplifies all of that data. So it can process data like at a insane speed. For example, as in humans, we speak like 150 words a minute. Maybe I speak a bit more, so I speak a bit faster. But generally, average humans speak at 150 levels or process about 10 times this 150 words like in thinking. But so in order to collect data from 4 systems and then trying to connect the dots and make sense of it, it was really difficult, and which still people are using the same methodology. But with AI, as long as you are giving it a structured data and to some extent even unstructured data, and you have defined really well the rules and floors and ceilings, etc., it can process a lot of information, and it just comes back to you with a ready-made thing. So essentially, as we speak currently, you have the systems which can do, which even can use your RMS to do 90% of your job, and you'll just have to do this 10% of our orchestration, like looking at the data and seeing, okay, where you need to make some tweaks or adjustments. Like essentially, as in AI, we call it human in the loop. So you are just human in the loop, because AI can process a lot of information. It can just give you a summarized version of it. It can give you the reasoning and thinking behind what it made the suggestion or the finding or the analysis. And basically what you are doing is like you are connecting some dots at a macro level and then executing it, or in case you have to make any tweaks, you can do that. So it is going to, like, it is already automating about 80-90% of your job, and you can just like do 10%, you can just work 10% to run the strategy at a very high level.
So basically just managing the AI and managing the prompts you give the AI. Because like you said, we moved from an RMS handling all the data and making all the calculations to an AI thinking about the data and actually creating a strategy based on data you give it instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Yes. And that's the way forward if you look at it. And because to me, like, I worked in from small to large hotels, and I'm a certified revenue manager and I have a lot of experience, but I can't, like, I have to be honest, and I can't move at the speed of AI, right?
Nobody can, I think.
Yes, my role, or the moat as a revenue manager we have, or the advantage is basically the skill, right? Because there are certain things that the certain instincts, there are certain ways which, because AI is a machine, right? It doesn't understand the emotions and what is happening around the world. So that's where on the strategic level, so our role is more like strategic, which it was supposed to be from the beginning, but we became like, I commented on someone's post that we are essentially like, we became like data janitors, right? We are just cleaning the data and aggregating it, right?
Yeah, we're just managing the AI's living room,
that's why data scientists are always welcome everywhere.
Yeah. So, but then now, like, even at like skill level, like people were studying, or SQL and all that, like data science things and Python, etc. But now you don't need it. Basically, all you need is a very good, sharp brain which can act at a really fast pace, and is able to connect the dots between things, and then able to drive, basically. Basically, you are just orchestrating the show. So AI is like going to give you the results only as good your instructions are, basically. So how well you give it your instructions. So you have to be good with your prompting, or the way you interact with the AI.
And I think also understanding the problem yourself, right? Because if you don't understand the problem yourself, you can't expect AI to understand your explanation. So I think your research and knowledge should be very important. So I think, of course, since you have a lot of experience in the field, I think, the more experience you have, the more experience you can get with AI. Do you think then that, for example, you've been in the industry for a long time? Do you think people who are maybe more experienced, have been in the industry for longer, may find it harder to switch their workflow around using AI to really use innovative technology compared to, for example, me? I'm only 20 years old. I'm kind of growing up into my career using AI. Do you think that switch is hard? Not necessarily talking RMS, but just in general? Because I think that's an interesting topic.
Yeah, that's so it's more like a psychological thing, right? In the beginning, so I'll just give you one example and then I'll connect the dots. So last year, around the same time, you can say in April 2025, I was talking to someone and then about the RMS and AI, etc., and AI agents. And the gentleman, he is in the industry for quite some time, and he told me, it's just a smart automation, we know this, so we don't really bother about it. And then I met him in November last year, so exactly like after 7 months, and he was all in AI and AI agents and agentic operating systems, etc. Right? So now, with previous technologies, the impact was a bit slow, right? It was coming in a bit slow, and then people were like thinking and a bit hesitant, and then eventually they had to adopt, right? Because some of the RMSs started with some Excel sheet format thing, kind of for forecasting Excel or spreadsheet, right? And then eventually, it turned into BI and RMS platforms, etc. So people took maybe decades, years to adopt to those technologies. But now with the AI, it's very different, because now the world we are entering, it's intent economy. So if you've read it, if if you haven't, then I'll share with you later some links and books to read it. So basically, the world we are living in, or past like 5-6 years or a decade, was attention economy, more social than interactions, etc. Now we are moving into intent economy. So intent economy is basically most of the people, if not everyone, will be having AI agents doing things on their behalf. So let's say guest would be having AI agent, would like they would send to like online, and they will just say, okay, book me a hotel in London. I have a budget of 500 euros, and book me a flight as well. It should be pet friendly for 2 adults, etc., etc. Right? So
Yeah.
you don't have to click like 20 Google links. You will just give this prompt to AI, and your AI agent would go and search online. And now from the hotel side, there will be another AI agent which would be bidding for that inquiry, and then it will be like becoming agentic transaction, right? Now imagine agent to agent transaction. It is really it will be happening at a really fast pace, right? So as a human revenue manager, if you think like you can act faster than the AI, or to change the rates or adjust things, then I think you really have to revisit your thinking around it. So, but
Or
now,
they're superhuman. I don't know,
yeah.
but yeah, that's not how it works.
Yes, sir. And also like going back, because the answer went a bit long, but the adoption of AI is faster than any other technology, and it will be even faster because we wouldn't have any other option, because there is no alternative that you can be slow, right? You will have
Yeah.
to be fast, and the only way to be fast would be to adopt AI, and there is no other option basically.
You can be
This
against
is
it,
again
but
my thinking. Some people might not like it, but that's
Yeah.
how it is.
You can be against it, but then you're gonna get the
you're
people are
gonna
gonna
be
catch
left
up to you.
behind. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
that's it.
You have to constantly evolve, no matter what age or experience you have.
Correct.
I had a
But
teacher at my university, and he was not necessarily against AI, but he just thought it was scary. He also admitted, like, hey, I don't like it, but if I don't use it, I'm gonna fall behind. So
Yeah,
I kind of have to.
yeah,
Um,
that's it. Like it becomes like your compulsion, because
yep.
it's not a choice anymore. Like,
yeah,
and it
but
won't be a choice anymore.
we
Maybe
as
it's like
human
when
beings, we are scared of change, and that's normal.
yep. Maybe it's like
Yeah,
when calculators came out within the mathematics world for the first time.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
Some people, it's more like a psychological. Like people have they've stick to their spreadsheets and their way of doing things for maybe, I don't know, 30 years of their career, or 25 years of their career.
Hmm.
So it's maybe they have this kind of emotional connection to their
of course.
spreadsheet, right?
I love
But they have to
Excel.
give away. Yeah, so they have to, I think, give it away in case they would like to keep moving forward, because essentially, if you don't, then you are left behind, and not just behind, way behind basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, talking about connecting the dots, so what would you say are the KPIs that you recommend tracking to measure the proper ROI of an RMS when it's implemented?
So, very good question. Usually, if you are to implement, or you've implemented and you want to see whether you are making, like, you are benefiting from it or not. So the first one would be to look at your commercial upside, like
Yeah.
especially your RevPAR, to look at how much, like the before and after kind of comparison, so that since you've implemented it, have you seen a RevPAR growth? Which industry, like research and the standard, is about a good RMS can uplift your RevPAR by 8 to 12%.
Okay.
Even conservatively speaking, 5% would be good enough. Like,
Hmm.
because let's say if you are a property which has a budget of let's say 3.5 million, 4 million, 5% is about 400K or so, right?
It's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of money.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's one meter, like a KPI to analyze. And then if you really want to dig deeper, then you look at the, not just the RevPAR as a whole, you look at the net RevPAR basically. So you try to understand the net RevPAR you're getting from the channel. So you can see your cost efficiency, how well you are optimizing your channels to have the bookings at the leastest commission possible. So that's like on the commercial side. Then looking at what would you say on the so the second KPI, maybe the major one, would be to look at the forecast accuracy. So when you implemented the changes based on the AI recommendation, etc., you need to review and analyze how accurate these recommendations were and whether like how many overrides you did. And that's what even at Sarucci what we are doing is, because we have seen, I've used systems myself or the other RMSs, and speaking to people, they have this issue with the RMSs where they say that it's like a black box thing, because you get the recommendations or the forecast, but there is no reasoning attached to it that why the system has recommended. And that's what we did at the Sarucci. So basically for each price recommendation for each date, each pricing has a justification and explainability part, so you can understand why the system recommended it. And
great.
if you want to challenge it, you can challenge it. So that, like, as a user, you would understand the reasoning behind this recommendation. So it's not a black box basically. And then the third ROI, I would say, would be on the time saving thing. Like as a human, if you are a revenue manager using the RMS or GM or owner, you can look at your calendar and see, or you day-to-day operation and see how much time it helps you save, right? So you can look at, from a commercial angle, you look at the RevPAR and net RevPAR. You look at the on the what would you say, on the efficiency side, you look at the accuracy of forecast and the recommendations. And then on the time saving, you look at how many hours it saved you, because generally any product in the world or service, people are willing to pay for three main reasons. If you help them make more money, if you help them save money, or if you help them save time. And these are the three main, I think, parameters you need to evaluate your RMS on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then talking kind of like more of a economical and kind of world scale at this point in time, what do you think are the biggest external factors currently that are impacting RMS? Maybe economic shifts, regulations, some changes. What do you think?
Yes, so there are a couple of things. So one is to start with, let's say, the current tensions which are going on in the world, which these will, one is like there's a bit of an uncertainty. So if people plan to go on a saving mode and they don't want to travel because they don't know the world we are entering, then okay, there will be reduction in travel, so people will tend to travel less, which will impact RMS and RMS recommendation, because most of the RMS, I would say, or like majority of them as we speak now, they rely heavily on the historical data patterns, etc., which is like I think I would say history, because you cannot rely on historic data, as now the booking patterns have shifted. It's becoming like more last minute. Like last night I was seeing a core CEO. They said I think a large amount of their bookings are become like and came in last like 12 days prior to arrival, like within a very short like lead time. So one is that like the uncertainty and changing lead patterns or lead time patterns or booking patterns will impact. Second is the AI as well, because before, again connecting back to previous point, is that before people were like humans were searching, and they would like search on a Friday evening and then search again on a Saturday, and maybe next week they will make decisions, or the decisions were very slow, etc. And then the system can adopt and at a very slow pace. But now with the geo and AEO, etc., the answer engine optimization, and like people searching with and interacting and booking through LLMs moving forward, the transactions will be happening really fast. So the systems it will be really like challenging. So they need to have this the capabilities to adopt in like nanoseconds, something which like the forex trading and the hedge fund algorithms do, like they have like a nanosecond latency. So the RMSs have to adopt to it, to act and respond really quickly to the changes which are happening. So basically, not relying on the historical data, being grounded with what is happening right now, and then trying to make sure that the hotel achieves the budget or achieves closest to the budget figures they have.
Okay. So would you say what's the main things that's going to be happening with RMS in the next 5 years? What's the turn?
So the RMS space, this is again my opinion, which and we are basically building on that principle, and we have some of the features live already. It's like as we enter in the agentic AI world, the RMS right now you have a lot of tabs and a lot of features, etc. Okay, the features will be there, but all of this will be at the back end, and what you'll be doing, you'll be like having just one window operation. By that I mean it'll be just one screen and you'll be talking to a system. So it will be a conversational system. You'll say, okay, what is my ADR for, let's say, March 2026? Okay, can you compare with same time last year, and how much variance we had, etc., etc. So you are basically having a conversation, which is like RMS would become essentially, depending on how good these are built, but that's the principle we have, is like it'll become your digital twin, like a revenue consultant available 24/7. You can talk to it, you can ask for suggestions, you can ask for opinions, you can challenge its thought, and it can challenge what you are thinking, and then it gives you the reasoning why it is doing so, etc. So it becomes more, it will become like a one screen system which is powered by AI agents, and it's conversational. So that's the world we are going in, and most of it would be automated. Basically, most of the tasks would be automated.
Well, get used to automation. That's
Not to say that's the future.
Yeah.
It is, and that's not even. I would say that's not even the future with the tech, and some people already using it. It's already present. But it will be a mainstream thing. Like it will be a major thing in the future as the adoption scales up.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. All right. Then we would like to finish with one last question. I think we discussed it a bit before, but what do you think is one key principle or mindset you wish every RMS user understood?
In the perfect scenario, you're like, I wish you knew this.
I wish every hotel, like you said, the numbers in the Mediterranean, I hope everybody understands this after, for example, attending one of your lectures.
Yeah.
So what I would say is that in the current world, and people may want to continue that way in upcoming, it's basically we were working with, so I'll try to, okay, let's connect with the analogy, like connect something in the real world. So right now, if you are a pilot, so consider a current scenario, revenue manager, it's like a pilot, shifting the gears and checking the navigation, etc., and flying the plane, right?
Yeah.
But the world we are entering, the revenue manager would be becoming like air traffic controller, right? So it is just guiding these systems and pilots, etc., to when to land. Okay, it's not right time to land, and okay, run on this runway, etc. So it would be just like driving the commercial, like just the strategic thing. So all those mundane tasks like data aggregation, analysis, and everything else will be done by AI. And the AI agents they'll be just handling it, and future revenue manager will be just like orchestrating it. So what they need to make sure is that they familiarize with how AI works, how AI agents work, and how to make how to benefit from these systems, and how you are what kind of instructions you are supposed to give in order to receive the ideal outcome you want from it. So it will be a shift from like a pilot mindset to air traffic controller, kind of just controlling the things which your pilots are doing.
You're going more of a kind of like the airport communication tower type of thing.
Yes. So it's just like running the strategy, and you're just like you're just telling the AI and AI agents, and like which would be powering the future RMSs, is that okay, do this, do that, okay, or like adopt and adjust, because what will be happening is the agents and all that, like they can handle all the the repetitive task and mathematics and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But what these systems won't know is what is happening in the real world, right? Politically and socially, etc., right? Changing behavior. So as a human, if you know that and you are able to run the strategy, you'll be just like giving that input to the system that, okay, this happened, so do this. But otherwise, if the world remains as is, the systems won't kind of need you because they can just run on its own.
Yeah.
So your value as a revenue manager would be just to drive the strategy, looking at the macro level of what is happening in your country, in your destination, in your hotel, and how the whatever is happening in the world, how it impacts your business, right? And
Yep.
based on that, you are just like driving the strategy and giving instructions to the AI and your agentic systems to run those strategies.
Yeah.
So maybe to go back to the metaphor, we're switching places from the pilot of the plane to the traffic controller controlling the plane, because the plane will fly itself. And then basically we're chatting with our colleagues in the control tower about what's happening in the world, and we're communicating that to the plane so it knows where to fly and how to fly, and where it, for example, can't fly right now.
Yeah.
Correct. And because shifting, it's like shifting gears. So for example, if you were receiving a lot of bookings from a particular, I don't know, partner, and they were strong in a particular market, and something happened in that market, you should be fast enough to tell the pilot to shift gears, and instead of landing at the runway, like runway 2, land on runway 3 to push more bookings from that particular channel, etc. Right? So just like constantly shifting the planes to different areas where you can drive the business from.
Okay, I think it's a really good metaphor. I think it's a really good comparison.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just like trying to connect, because I just thought for a few seconds, and I thought like, let me connect it to some real world, like not theoretical, but something practical, which kind
So
of makes more sense.
It's something we can understand and maybe share with our peers. A real world example. I think it's
It's
really cool.
It's a very tangible example. Yeah, I agree.
People, I hope they can connect and try to understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think people can learn a lot from this podcast. I think we answered some really good questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we'd like to wrap it up right now. Yeah, we'll definitely share this with the people working at Domits. I think this is one of the most informational podcasts we've made so far.
Yeah, it's a very deep dive.
Yeah, thank you very much, Faisal.
Thank you for coming by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
experience.
you for taking time.
Pleasure.
And pleasure to. I always want to give away the information and whatever my learnings are, because I spend a lot of my time like until my brain stops kind of working. So then only I sleep. So I want to give away. So if I would love to share any question, like, or answer more questions, or share the knowledge as much as I can.
All right.
Really
well, thank you very
it.
much. If we have more questions or would like to chat to you again, we'll definitely contact you again. Thank you very much, Faisal, and have a nice day.
Yeah, likewise. And then for all the listeners, check out Sarucci if you're interested in RMS and in its application.
Yeah, you can visit Sarucci.com. And then there's another one which is for the future world, just like not trying to promote, but just like telling you. So
go on. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. It's where basically, so as the search is moving from the Google to the LLMs, we built a tool which helps hoteliers. You can have your website audited on the tool to find out what is your current ranking in across like Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini. And then it gives you the suggestions, recommendations. So it finds you the issues what you currently have with your website. It tells you what are the recommendations, and then it tells you step-by-step solutions. What can you do in order to fix those issues? And then it can even generate you the code as well. So you can just copy that and paste it into your HTML of your website.
Okay.
So ideally, you would not have to pay your like a digital marketing agency or SEO agency to do this digital SEO for you. You can just do it on yourself. And then there's a little part where you can have a custom marketing strategy based on your preferences. Like in case you are a boutique hotel and you want to focus more on the new LLM SEO to appear in the AI search results, you can just customize. You can get a customized strategy through this platform. For people interested in that, you can visit a website. It's the name itself. Basically, it's a keyword which is appearinaisearch.com. So that's the website, and that's a people keyword like they would search for. And that's also an interesting and very useful for hotels. We have like a couple of hotels who use this in Malta. So yeah, people who are interested, they can check it out because that's the world we are entering.
Okay. I have the website open. It looks cool. It looks like a useful tool. Yeah.
That sounds really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do some research on it. Yeah, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Faisal.
Thank you.
And yeah, I wish you a nice day, and maybe we'll see each other again.
Yeah, sure.
Have a good one.
You too have a nice one.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
See you.